Well, my dear friends, this time it didn't go as planned. It looks like this video will be continuing for you, and my stay in Abu Dhabi will be continuing for me. It was here where it all happened. And what happened? I'm very embarrassed to tell you these things, and probably if I wanted to keep my face and to appear in your eyes as very cool and non-error making experienced Superman traveler, then I would easily delete my texts from all the... I'll have to edit all my clips anyway, so I could easily leave out my texts about staying 2 days in Abu Dhabi, and I would be talking about 4 days in Abu Dhabi, and I would look very cool in your eyes. But I don't care. What I do care is for things to be real and honest, and this is what it is. I do make mistakes, and I do admit it, and I do have this philosophy that it's okay to make mistakes, but it is not okay to not to learn from your mistakes. So basically, your net gain or your net result is what matters, not the not making of mistakes, how to say it. You can make mistakes, but as long as the net result is positive, it's good. You want to maximize your net result instead of completely avoiding mistakes, because if you want to avoid all mistakes, you'll be doing nothing and you won't go anywhere anyway. But yeah, that's probably more like me trying to somehow justify my foolishness and my own mistake. I do admit it was a foolish mistake. It was my fault. I don't blame them. And yeah, why do I share it with you? Because when I look some videos myself, I don't like the videos which are kind of manufactured to be perfect to such extent that they become unreal, because that doesn't give me that feeling of being in that traveler's shoes. And I want my videos to be better in this regard. I want my videos to be real. I want to give you opportunity to be in my shoes and to join me in my travels, and life is as it is. Sometimes it happens how you want it. Sometimes you make some foolish mistakes, and the result is that it doesn't happen as you want. But does life stop? No. Okay, what happened? I planned my trip to Muscat in Oman. I reserved my hotel there. I checked the requirements, whatever I could be checking about Oman. That's the reason why I didn't fly to Bahrain, which I wanted, because their requirements, they were kind of open as well, semi-open, but their requirements were too expensive. I would have to pay for my own COVID test $100 or euros, I forgot already, and other things. Basically, net result was that I decided not to go to Bahrain, but I did decide to go to Oman because that seemed to be good enough. So basically, they require vaccination, otherwise you have to quarantine, which is of course very expensive and so on. So I have the vaccination. Then they, on top of vaccination, require a PCR test, which is, yeah, okay, I won't say anything about that. But they accept 72 hours instead of 48 hours. So I was able to organize my PCR tests in Egypt in such a way, in the very last moment, for it to be ready for the trip from Sohaj in Egypt to here, to Abu Dhabi. And I would use the same PCR when entering Oman because it would be still valid. I would get 2 countries within these 72 hours. So I organized kind of everything and I came here, but I did one mistake. When you travel, and especially during all these COVID restrictions, which always change, they're always unpredictable, you can never know everything. There will always be something more which will come up and destroy your plans. So I'm always saying you, and I'm always saying myself, go before, go ahead of time. Leave plenty of time for unexpected stupid things so that you're not stressed because of time, because it will be enough reason for stressing because of unexpected COVID things, the restriction things which will come up in the last moment when you don't expect. So I kind of know it, but I disregarded it. I was too much enjoying the sunset instead of being plenty of time ahead. My bus took longer to come, but it's not bus's fault. It's my own fault that I wasn't there earlier. And at the end I was a little bit tight. Oh, this is A1. I could be using it, but I will be picky this time. I'm a bit tired and I don't want to walk on that end, so I'll be using A2. So what happened? When I arrived into airport, I was already pretty much last minute. Well, not exactly last minute, but I didn't have much time, which I should have. Then I was checking in. That's another added thing, that my Kiwi app couldn't check me in because they have some requirements which required me to check in manually here, not online. Okay, I go to the check-in desk, so that's already more time wasted, and I already didn't have too much time in reserve. Okay, I'm checking in, the vaccination, the PCR test, passport, ticket, everything, and then they ask me for something. I already forgot the name. Mushrif something code. And I make big eyes and I'm asking, what's that? Another QR code which you should have. It's a requirement from Oman. Okay. First time I hear about it. And then I was trying, I was connecting to the Wi-Fi. I was trying to fill that thing out, but it was very complicated and it took a lot of time. There were one thing after another thing, and like all things which are doable, but when you have to upload a document, you have to attach it, and then it doesn't work. Then you try to find it on your Google Drive, but it suddenly, this app doesn't connect. And then when it does connect, it says that it's an error. You download it from your Google Drive to your phone, then you upload it from your phone, then it turns out that it was something else which was required as well, then it turns out you have to do it from the beginning, from the very start again, and then again. And while all of these things are happening, that man is saying, you'll be late, we are closing almost. And I'm getting these things done, apologizing to him and thanking him for being so helpful, that he is waiting for me and so on. But at the end, he was calling dispatcher, who said, no, it's too late. We're closing, we're not accepting any more people. And I didn't make it. I didn't make it on time. And the man said, no, it's too late already. We can't wait more for you. And at the end I did manage to get all that done, but it was already few minutes after it was closed. The Muscat was not on the screen anymore, and the check-in man had walked away already by that moment. That was stupid. That was pure stupidity. I always tell you and myself, be early for all kinds of unexpected things which always do happen, especially during COVID times. I even often say to myself and to others that during these COVID times it is good and bad at the same thing for traveling. It is good because you most likely will have many choices for hotels, hostels, and transport and whatnot, because nothing is overfilled. Everything is available, and you are a valued guest because they lack guests. The tickets are very cheap. You can fly Ryanair for €5 for long distances and so on. But the bad things is unpredictable, crazy, all kinds of requirements of all things of 100 combinations. Like, you can never know all these combinations because there is always something. What nationality you are, what is the place where you live, what are the countries you have been through during the last 14 days or different amount of days. All the combinations between different kind of tests and different kind of vaccines in different countries, and like there are thousands of possibilities what can go wrong, and there are 101, if not more, additional things which might come up which you never knew, which wasn't written anywhere, but you suddenly hear from some official that you need that one as well, otherwise you can't go. And because of that, the reality is that you get this cheap ticket, you get this cheap hotel reservation. That's your advantage. But the disadvantage is you have to plan to be ready to abandon your trip at any moment, because all kinds of things happen. And in this case, it was my fault that I wasn't here ahead of time. Like, if I had 1 or 2 hours too many, I would be okay doing this thing. Like, I wasted maybe 25 minutes, half an hour with this additional form which I had to fill. And that was all it took for me to be too late and for me to miss this flight. Like, if I was 1 hour earlier than needed, I would be okay. But sometimes it can happen that no matter how early you are, you won't make it, because there is something which you just, some hoop which you just can't jump through. And you have to be ready for that as well if you travel during COVID. So cheap prices are good, but always keep your money saved for extra emergencies, which always can happen because of all kinds of unexpected regulations, which sometimes change. I once was flying from Malta to Rome, and there wasn't a requirement for the test. I was checking and double checking before my flight, one day before flight, and exactly on the day of flight they introduced that requirement, and suddenly I needed a test which I didn't have, and I didn't have money for that as well. But luckily they were not capable of enforcing these things, so they weren't really checking, so I got through. But theoretically I should be left in Malta stranded without a possibility if I didn't have money for test. So all these things can happen. Come ahead of time and have plenty of money in reserve just in case. That's my best advice for you and for myself in this kind of situation. But yeah, if you follow these two things, it can be very pleasant and good to travel during COVID times, no questions about it. I like it and I enjoy it, and I have no reason to stop it. So, what happens next? I have missed my €10 flight. Well, and that's probably the least of all the troubles. These €10 are wasted. The next flight is in 2 days. Well, the next cheap flight. Of course, I can book a very expensive flight as well. But the next cheap flight is in 2 days. So that means I have to stay 2 more days in this expensive place with expensive hotel and with expensive food. Not very good. Good that I saved a lot of money in Egypt. And after this, I was hoping to have a healthy balance of savings from my previous weeks, but this will kind of deplete it a little bit, and because of that I will have to think about my next steps after United Arab Emirates, I might have to find a cheap country to get back on track financially, to get within my budget again. Because I want to keep always this reserve, this balance left for unexpected things. And I will be quite close to being, well, not exactly in zero, but to be in very low, uncomfortably low balance. So I might want to find a cheap country after this place. Yeah, and what else? I booked a new ticket in 2 days' time. The same time, the same WizzAir, but as I booked it in the last moment, it wasn't anymore 10 euros, it was 31 euros. So that's again 31 euros instead of 10, and that's 10 euros wasted, which I had this evening, the ticket, plus staying in expensive place for 2 more days. Yep, that's my biggest expense during the last, I don't know how long time. So friends, I said that these were my 2 days in Abu Dhabi, and it looks like it were only my 2 first days in Abu Dhabi. I'll have 2 more. Good and bad at the same time. Yeah, one more thing which I probably should have added when I explained what happened was about the PCR test. Since I also wasted well, not wasted, but I won't be able to use for the second time the same PCR test which I made in Egypt. Now I will have to do another PCR test. But luckily I already inquired about that. I kind of tend to inquire about things ahead of time just in case I need that information. And when I was making that free PCR test, the government paid PCR test on arrival in Abu Dhabi, coming here, I was asking those gentlemen, what if I need to make another PCR test? Is it possible? Where is it possible to do it? And what are the prices? And I found out that there are some testing centers where you can make PCR test for free in Abu Dhabi. And I got one of the guys to write down for me the places, so I have some 4 or 5 places now where I can make free PCR tests. So it will be good for the PCR test companies, bad for the Emirati people who will have to pay for that. But for me it will be just an added hassle, but not an added expense. I'll have to make this other PCR test for my second attempt to get into Oman. So that was my bus, and here we can see in action how is this place kept watered. These sprinklers are quite wisely made so that they don't get water on the pavements. But late at the evening, at night, they are watering the lawns, and that's the only reason why they are still green. So friends, welcome to my new home for the next 2 days. 2 more luxury days in Abu Dhabi. And this is a different hotel, because when I was booking now, 1 hour ago, a little bit more, I was checking the prices, and the previous hotel which I had, it wasn't the cheapest anymore. This one was cheaper, so I'm here now. But yeah, all good, except the bill. But these things happen. And that's why I do like to have some reserve, some buffer money all the time. If I didn't have, I would be terribly stressed out now. But now it's just okay, and I will have to think how long and which countries will I stay next to get the balance right back again. Okay friends, I'll go get something to eat, and I'll go back can have a good sleep. Yeah, free PCR test of course is a good thing, but look at this queue for that. It's snaking all around there, it goes there and it goes back and it goes towards the testing center. It kind of moves, but not very fast. So that was actually not too bad. It did take time, but I was thinking when I saw this queue, you see that snake all around there. When I see that queue, I thought it will take 2 or 3 hours, but it was maybe, I don't know, 40 minutes, or I didn't check actually. And yeah, we'll see. I have a big, like, free test is good, but there is big issue with timings. I heard that very often they are very late with the results. And yeah, we'll see, my friends. I have a little bit more than 26 or 7 hours till my flight. So I thought it can't be more than 24 hours in any case. But no, friends, it can easily be 36 hours or 48 hours. But hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully we get it soon enough. If not, will be interesting. Because I understand that in Oman, if you arrive without the test, even if you are vaccinated, like non-vaccinated people are completely excluded, that they're not let in the country. But even if you have the vaccine and you arrive without the test, you are put into quarantine, which is very long and expensive ordeal in a special quarantine hotel. And I have heard that in many places it costs something like 2,000 euros for such a joy, if you can call it a joy. You see, friends, how much it costs in terms of your nerve cells, risk levels, discomfort, hassle, even if it doesn't cost any money to miss your flight. Well, it did cost me money as well in terms of staying 2 days longer in this expensive place. Okay, friends, now I have to find a bus stop towards Abu Dhabi center, because I am something like 15 kilometers away from the center. Sun is setting already. You heard the call to prayer, the sunset prayer. And one local person told me that here, somewhere here, should be a bus stop. Will it be here? The way I came here was a very bad way how to come here, so I don't want to repeat that. It was a long walk. So I hope there will be some bus stop closer to this place. We'll see. Yeah, this is the kind of right place in terms of, that's the highway which I need, but I need that side. And I was looking, there is a huge fence and no overpass or underpass. So this is for motorists, not for people like me. And I know that there's a checkpoint there and to the left, but it will be a good walk towards there. But what can I do? I will walk in that direction and see if I can find any way how to get a stop sooner. Of course I'll take it. If not, I'll have to walk all the way to that checkpoint. I have quite nice views on my way. do you think? I was asking directions in this Ibis hotel, and they too said me that only taxi, these guys. The closest stop is really the checkpoint. So I have walked something like 3 kilometers already, and it is 2.5 still to walk. It definitely should have been some stop there closer, but I didn't get any other people whom I could ask, and that man who told me that direction which led me here. There was nothing in between there and here. So yeah, these are the joys of asking for directions. This is why I like if I have a map. If I had a good map where I could see the stops and public transport, I would feel like at home in this city, because I could go anywhere, anytime. And I'm very happy to organize my life according to maps, and I'm very good at orientating with maps. But the problem is that Google Map doesn't give you much here, and Mappy CZ, the Czech map application, also doesn't give you more. It only gives you altitudes. And Yandex map is kind of okay for this area, but still not enough to really find what I need. But yeah, if you're watching this video after a year or two, maybe then it will be different, and check for yourselves. It might be solved by that time. I can talk only about now. So guys, let's keep walking. We are very close already. During the last 3 days I have discovered this amazing Indian restaurant, which is even a lot cheaper to eat in than when I was buying things, the cheapest things in supermarket. This is just the beginning, but you'll see they'll give me more than just this thing. Look at this, my friends. These guys, these Indians, or are they Pakistanis? I actually don't know. They're amazing at making a lot of good things for very little money, even in this expensive country. This all, with the together with the previous thing which I ate already, it cost me €5.24, including the water. And when I was eating from supermarket food, I was seriously struggling to get fed for something around 9 or 10 euros per day. But this is so big and so good that I seriously have been existing for only one such meal a day. I get my coffee and water, the complimentary things in the hotel, but besides that I eat only once a day on this thing. So funny enough, I even managed to get within my food budget almost, and even in this expensive country, which is quite unreal. And it's tasty and it's fresh. The bread is baked here, fresh, hot. Everything is good. That's their Supreme Court. So yeah, friends, I'm in the bus to airport already. And funny enough, I am something like 4 hours too early. And you might be thinking probably now that this man got really scared of what happened 2 days ago. Well, not that scared. And this is the royal family, is it? Or I definitely know that one of them is the president of the United Arab Emirates, but I don't recognize all of them, and I don't know too much about it all. So yeah, what I was about to say, that the reason why I'm going so early, well, I do think that I'll be coming a bit earlier in the future towards airports and things like that. Instead of the normal 1.5 hours before flight, I'll be going probably 2 or even 2.5 hours. 2.5 probably is my plan. We'll see. But this time it's a bit different reason, because I had to check out from my hotel, and you see their big roads, and that's not even a huge highway. We're still in the city, and there you can see an inlet of the sea, because we are on an island. Like Abu Dhabi is a city on many islands. Okay, yeah, I had to check out from my hotel, so I couldn't stay longer there, and internet, I have to work today quite a lot, so I'm going to airport because there is free high-speed internet, really good high speed. By the way, Abu Dhabi is really good for internet, like both hostels and airport, and every place where I have logged into internet has been really huge speeds. It's a huge difference from what happens in Egypt. Basically, I'm going to the airport to work there, and yes, also to check in for Oman. But I think this is a good moment to end this video, the second attempt to end this video. If you're interested in what happens next, did I finally manage to get to Oman or not, feel free to check my next video about Muscat in Oman. But what regards to Abu Dhabi, that will be it, I hope. And see you in some other video.